Oh, hey guys. So, still experimenting with the mic, right? It's a cat. Walks by. Cat says hi with his butt, because y'all want to know. Yeah, in case you guys picked up on it, not last video, but the video before. Want it? See? Told you, cat always goes there. Or here. He's about to, let's see. He's going to the other side. And he's going to go on the way of the blanket. But, that little necklace I was wearing was a microphone. It's currently sitting on top of the phone, just kind of resting there. Playing around, positioning on it. It was a little too loud here. Here, normal area, right? Got the EPU on. Cat's making biscuits. You guys want some? Baker's right here, man. Just order some biscuits. Alright. This video is going to be juicy. Got here. I think this is going to be a title. One load, 2 weeks. Or should I go like two weeks, one load? Something like that? If you know, you know. Yeah, 2 weeks, one load. That's it. If you know, you know. All right. I'm honestly, I'm not even gonna pull up the notebook. Ain't even gonna pull out exact numbers because it's one fucking load in 2 weeks. It's shit either fucking way. Yeah. So, you having fun there, kid? Oh yeah. So, I found this load. Now I did it off. Fuck. What was the day? Let's see here. This load was the 12th. I found a load, picked it up on the 14th, right? Because I had been running pretty hard at that point, and I was like, I'm so fucking burnt out. I need a day to catch up on sleep. Found this load. Actually, I unloaded Friday morning, so I went all Friday to sleep, and then I get the load on the 14th, right? So it's 13th. That's when I wanted to rest. And then I wanted to pick it up on 14th. So I found this load. Then it was like, what was it? It's like 230 mile deadhead, whatever. When you're in Wisconsin, especially middle Wisconsin, you got a deadhead, at least 100 miles to get something. But I had a load that was going over to Portland. It wasn't great. It was like $3,500. I'm chasing gross, right? I mean, rates are fucking free falling still at this point. Today's the 26th, right? They're free falling still at this point. So at this point, I'm just trying to chase growth. And if I can get consistency on that, I'm fine, right? Like, it works, right? So I found this load originally that was going to pick up Saturday morning at like 1100 and go to, I think it was Portland. And, yeah, Portland. And it was like $3,500. It wasn't great. But you know what? I just did cranberries. I would have pretty much looped back up, another 4-hour deadhead, grabbed the cranberries, and turned around, came back to Wisconsin, and that would have put me at like, what, 7,600 for the week, 7,700, because the cranberries like 4,150. So yeah, 7,650, right? Pretty gross, right? Granted, you got a stupid fucking miles, but I don't care about the miles right now. I need consistency, especially when rates are fucking just free falling, and it's pretty awful. Winter needs to hurry up and get here. All these fucking truckers up north, man. There is no area I can really stay at consistency. Summer's been shit, but my summer's been shit because of just bad luck. Fucking losing all of June, just shit like that, right? Fucking sucked. Wherever I can find consistency, I'll just take it, right? Even if it's a cost of miles. If I gotta do 3,800, 4,500 miles, but I get 6,800, 8,000 every week, so fucking be it, right? Like, let's not act like, yeah, the owner op's like running that many miles a month or a week. No. But do you think they're gonna complain about the consistency of it? No, the revenue at least? No. Especially like. Now, if my shit was paid off, I don't even know what I'd do if my shit was paid off. I don't know. I already have a pretty low floor. Well, I guess you call it ceiling, whatever you want to call it. You know, how much I got to make before I can even start making profit. It's pretty low. So I don't know. That's for a fucking different day, different year at this point. But some fucking reason that load around like fucking 1500, because it was like, so 6 hours later it canceled. And at this point in this region, especially with how the rates are now, you cannot book same day. You need to book in advance, right? So I was scrambling and didn't find anything, so now I had to fucking book same day. And I found this load, garbage fucking load, but you know what? I had a broker reach out to me. It's like, hey, if you can get to California, I got a load for you. I was like, oh, okay. Alright, okay. Now, so I found a load. Now, it would cover my costs, give me not a large amount, but a decent chunk of profit, right? So it was like 230 mile deadhead, 250, something like that. It was like 3.5, 4 hours, right? It was a light load. I didn't know this, so I thought it was gonna be 44,000 pounds, but it was one pick, 5 drops, final Thursday, which is perfect, right? Because it puts me in the area I need to be for next pickup, next day pickup, right? So fucking perfect, right? I could catch up on sleep or fucking whatever, because it would have finaled out Thursday at 0300. So cool. I'd have all fucking day to chill and relax. Well, I'd have like a 34 actually, because the reload I was supposed to pick up out of California is a night pickup, like around midnight pretty much. Well, so Saturday, it's pretty much a Saturday, right? It's midnight. It's like this when you really get loaded generally. So I grabbed this load, but I asked the broker, I was like, hey, it's $3,800 by the way. This fucking shitty ass, like I said, shitty load, pays the bills, gives me a decent chunk of profit, enough to where I'm like, well, whatever. I mean, I'll throw it in the fucking business, be fine with it, right? It's fine, right? I asked the broker, because it's scheduled for, what was it? Oh, scheduled for an 8 to noon pickup on Saturday, so the 14th. This is where shit gets a little stupid, though. I was tired when I booked this fucking load. So that's my bad, right? But first drop, Tracy, California, Monday at 0400. Nothing on Tuesday. 2 drops are 80 miles apart on Wednesday. Final drop SoCal Thursday at Miraloma, right? So first drop's Costco, last drop's Costco, right? So that would have been empty like Thursday morning at fucking like 0300. And honestly, what I was thinking about doing too is grabbing a fucking Vegas day run for like $1,200-1,500, and then come to head right back. Because I was thinking something like that too. So I mean, whatever. Good plan in theory, because between these 2 weeks, because my California load was taking all week, I was looking at like 14,000, 14,000 for between the 2 weeks. So shit went down though. Now I didn't catch. If you guys know mileage, you've already caught on. From it was pretty much Chicago area, Trace, California. It's 2,000 miles. You're not doing that in 2 days, right? My tired ass fucking glossed over that. Like, well, whatever, right? The Raycon says we don't require drivers to fucking run illegally. So fine. Now, come to find out, this is where the broker fucked up, okay? Because I did load it early, right? I loaded it Friday at like 1800, right? Just because you load early did not mean the delivery appointment moved, right? Like, if I load Friday, it did not mean, like, it was booked. It's originally supposed to pick up Saturday. So that means you set the delivery based on the Saturday pickup. It doesn't matter if I pick up early. Like, yeah, I picked up early Friday and drove 300 miles. But I was still thinking, in my head, I was like, this is Tuesday delivery. It's gotta be, right? I mean, 700 miles a day, it's Tuesday delivery. So I'm gonna pick up fucking Friday, go through the house, spend that house. That way it's 500 miles a day, pretty much. Easy fucking peasy, right? I drove like 380 miles Friday, right? Fucking tired as fuck. It was a long day. I didn't park till like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I catch him. So the broker calls me Saturday, the after hours, right? And I'm in west of Des Moines somewhere, between Des Moines. That's where he pretty much called me right after I woke up. Between Des Moines and where the fuck was I? I don't remember. I was fucking tired in the park. Let's just say an hour west of Des Moines, some off ramp, pretty much, right? Middle of nowhere off ramp. He called me. He's like, "Hey, what's going on? It shows you're like 6 hours behind." I was like, "No, it's Saturday morning. I wasn't even supposed to pick up this morning, and I'm 300 miles away. 300 miles loaded and already gone, right? Like almost 400 miles." He's like, "Yeah, you gotta be at Tracy, California Monday." I was like, "Monday? How?" I literally said that. I remember saying that on the phone. I was like, "How? That's 2,000 miles away from Chicago to Tracy, and it's supposed to pick up Saturday between 8 and noon. How?" He's like, now you're mentioning that, I see the issue here, the after hours guy, right? He's like, I see the problem. I think what happened, because brokers make mistakes too, right? He told me when I called him, the extra guy I booked the load with, it's his load, right? This broker, first off, his response kind of irked me, but I let it slide. I wasn't gonna fucking dip into this little bullshit, right? But when I call the broker directly now I need to make him aware of the problem, because I need to see what he wants me to do, right? And he goes, "Well, you signed the Raycon." As soon as I told him, I was like, "Hey, I didn't catch it because I was tired, but I can't do 2,000 miles in fucking 2 days, right? Well, not legally, wink, wink. Fuck, like 1,000 miles a day, fuck that. No." He's like, "Well, you signed the Raycon." I was like, "Yeah, and your Raycon says you don't require drivers to drive illegally." That's what I said, too. I don't think he liked that statement, that response, because he goes like, "So what did you do, call to just bitch and complain?" No, I called to let you know of a fucking problem, that way you couldn't, start on reschedule. Because anybody's been to Costco and Tracy know they're busy as fuck. That's a major hub. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of think about it, it seems like this week would have gone exactly like this week anyways, in hindsight. Especially after now Saturday, okay? That's like Saturday first thing in the morning, okay? I get fuel at Grand Island. I have never spent an hour just getting fuel. No, I was not doing my 30-minute break. It happened just because it happened. Fuel was $2.89 in Grand Island, GA. $2.89 at this time. Every fucking fuel pump there was 3 deep. When you're paying $2.89, bet, right? Now, I get fuel at Grand Island, and I completely fill up. Had a little bit of overspilled def onto, down the little fucking drain hole and all that. Fine. It happens. Generally, those drain holes are there for a reason. Nothing should ever go wrong if you get def that goes down that, right? Nothing should ever go wrong. I get 20-30 miles back on the road, and my truck has a mill light, right? Pretty much a check engine light. Volvo's got 2 check lights. Normally you see the rectangle that says check, whatever. That's like your fucking speaker has a malfunction. That will come on, right? The radar, it's pretty much that check light on the Volvo is for nothing pretty much important, right? Your fucking radar is out of calibration pretty much. It doesn't affect the way the truck drives. Shit like that. The actual engine itself, there's 2. There's a red and there's an orange one. The orange one means you can still drive, but depending on the problem is, it may eventually turn red and tell you to fucking park it, or it may just fucking be nothing and just clear itself out. Like we have a Cummins truck that likes to have random misfires, but work itself out. So I don't know what the fuck's going on there. It's same cylinder. It's cylinder 4 in case anybody else knows. Went through the codes. I looked the codes up, Googled them, and Google was telling me not anything. So I called the Volvo, give them because I was giving them the code of my pretty much my ELD was giving me, right? And it's a 6-digit number. but I didn't have the SA number, so the Volvo was like, I don't know. Unless you have the SA number, and I was like, I don't have that. I can get that later, but I don't want to pull over. Because I can get it when I park, right? Well, he's alright. Well, swing on through when you get over there. So I told him I was going to be at the house anyways. So I was planning to sleep there, right? Well, get all the way up to... Fuck, what is the highway? It's pretty much between Ogallala and Torrington. I forget that stretch. Whatever that fucking stretch is. You know, that stretch. I should know that stretch. I fucking live in that fucking state where it goes into. But whatever. I get there, get to Torrington, and Newco starts showing up. Like, knock sensors. Both in and out sensors, or knock sensors are out. Well, shows no signal, right? No, whatever. Ow. I fucking didn't feel good. But whatever, that wasn't a very important email. DPF soot sensor, no signal. It's like, okay. And there was one more. Oh, DPF sensor, no signal. I was like, alright, that's a little fucking weird, but alright. And then I got about a 40 mile, and these codes are going off and on, by the way, so I was like, there's got to be something here. And I was thinking maybe right now at this point I was thinking the header, because I know the header, for the DEF header, is the thing that's inside the DEF tank that has your level sensor in it, your preheat, your pickup tube, and that's if they're all, well, Volvo calls them something else, but if you call it a header, pretty much every fucking dealership's gonna know what you're talking about. Volvo calls it something with an A. I forget. Because he told me the word and I was like, huh, I've been told it was DEF header. He's like, well, same thing. I was like, okay. I was thinking it was that. Because I dealt with that in a Freightliner GCT, right? And some of the codes that are popping up also happen when that happens. Like, because like, if nothing else can get fucking DEF fluid, all that shit's gonna freak out too, right? And my DEF gauge, when the first check engine light came on, the DEF gauge would do this. Right? And it's like, just fucking constantly. Like every 5-10 minutes it'd do that, right? So I was like, that's fucking weird. That's why I was thinking DEF header, when that started happening, right? But it wasn't until like the other codes was like, well, maybe it's DEF header, maybe something else, right? I get to Guernsey, and I'm just getting, like, get out of Guernsey at the top of the hill, right? And I'm like 100 miles from the house now at this point, right? And my truck says an hour D-rate. And I was like, well, that's not good. They got about that tool, right? The tool that can clear D-rates. I was like, oh, there's a fucking rest area up here. I'm gonna pull up here, unplug the ELD, plug that tool in, and see what it's saying. And there was like fucking 27 codes. I was like, okay. So I'm like, you know what? I called the girlfriend up. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be limping this truck. I'm gonna be limping this truck home. Well, I'm gonna be flying home. I mean, I was sitting to the fucking floor. Thank God that load was 25,000 pounds, right? So I was able to fly up those hills. Because anybody's been on like Wyoming I-25, there are some hills north of Cheyenne. Those are some hills, right? Especially getting more north or towards Casper. Those are some fucking hills. I was like, I'm gonna be flying home. I may need you to leave work and come pick me up. Which, she's like, okay, I'll let work know. Which she's never had to do this, so it was, you know, if she's someone that work that, it means, you know, it's important. We'll kind of find out that D-rate was really a 1 hour to actual D-rate warning. So it's like 1 hour, then we're going to D-rate you in 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It's like, well, that's what why not just tell me D-rate in 3 hours and 3.5 hours? Down to a 5 mile an hour D-rate. So it was something serious enough was 5 miles an hour. Never actually hit D-rate though. Flew home, parked the truck at Hat 6. It's Saturday night pretty much, right? Can't even drop the truck off till Monday morning. Call the broker. I'll send the broker an email saying, hey, truck's going to the shop Monday morning. Send him proof, right? I even did him a fucking solid. I sent him proof, my screenshots of my little fucking diagnostic tool, right? I was like, here, send these to your customer as proof. There's also covered your ass too, right? Yeah. So I get into my shop Monday, and they get in the afternoon, they look at it, and they're like, well, there was this plug unplugged, cleaned it, we plugged it back in, but all, like, it was pretty much a power plug, pretty much, but voltage, if everything's reading normal, like the ohms are reading normal, it's still throwing codes, you know, you need to take it to Volvo. I was like, god damn it, okay. I pick it up Tuesday morning, take it out to Volvo. Now, when I picked it up, the fucking depth gauge was on E. Well, actually, when I dropped out of the shop, it was on E. When I picked it up, it was on E, right? Like, it was, when it went D-rate, it was on E. That was when it really went D-rate. So it was on E the whole fucking time. Now, keep in mind, I just filled up in Grand Island. It's 540 miles from my house. No fucking way it's on empty. How many MPG can you get per gallon of depth? On average, 200 miles. So I should be looking at 2.5 gallons of fucking depth, right? Depending on if something's wrong with your truck. Now, if it's like if you've got something having to work hard, it could be burn an extra gallon. But right, if it's working as intended, it should only burn about 2.5 gallons there. Maybe a little more, like 2.7. You know, you see what I'm saying? So, bring it over to Volvo, park it there. It's on E. Girlfriend had to go with me because she's the car. She's the taxi in the back from the dealership, because the dealership in Casper, the Volvo one, it's way the fuck out there, right? There ain't nothing out there. It's not like the one. It's not near an interstate. Also a very small dealership, so don't go there. Small. It's fine, but small. Go crowd the one in Cheyenne. So I drove out there, I tell him the problem, he's like, okay. He's thinking maybe it is def header based on what I'm telling him to. Or def level, you know, which, if it's just a def level thing, that's like $100 part, right? Well, he's like, and then he says the words, when would you like your truck back? And I was like, oh fuck, I tell me they're busy. I was like, okay, about Monday or Tuesday, and I'm saying next week, right? He's alright, we'll see what we can do. We should be able to get in tomorrow afternoon to look at it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now it's Wednesday, Volvo brings the truck in the shop. He calls me. He's like, so what's going on with this truck? I was like, I told him, you know, everything again. He's like, well, there's no codes on this truck, and the def is on full now. I was like, how? When I parked it, there was on E. I even left, I was like, did he even read the notes that I left on the dash for you from the other shop? The guy sounded like, honestly, he sounded like he was like, the way his tone was on the phone made it sound like, he thought I was wasting his time just fucking pulling strings or whatever. Fucking just being a little asshole, pretty much. He was like, I don't know, man, if you want to come down here, test drive it, see if you can get it to do it again. I was like, alright, I'll be down there in like an hour. Get down there, yeah, sure enough, it's on fucking E, or full, I mean. So I afford to do a regen, no issues. I take the truck, bobtail now, I go all the way back. It's about 25-mile round trip. So I go all the way back over to fucking the truck stop, check on the reefer. Reefer's got plenty of fuel. Come back, I'm like, man, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, when I parked this truck, I even written the notes in there, and I was like, when I parked this truck, it was on E. And I was like, here's these notes, you ready? He's like, okay. So, and I remember saying, I was like, maybe that plug, and they plugged it back in it when he was on the phone, when he called me, right? I was like, maybe that plug, that fixed it. It just took a little bit of time of it sitting. He's like, no, that's not how that works, right? And then he's reading the paper, he's like, I said again, I was like, maybe it was the plug. It needed some time to reset itself. He's like, well, maybe. And then he surprised me. He's like, we can't charge you for something we didn't fix. Now keep in mind, their sign in their shop says 2 hours minimum, right? So, and then they didn't charge me. So, but my truck was done pretty much Wednesday midday. But then there was, I didn't tell the broker this, little white lies don't hurt anybody, but it was fucking windy, right? There was 60-mile-an-hour gust. I'm 25,000 pounds. I didn't go anywhere till pretty much Friday, right? I left Friday morning. That wind needed to die down. As far as the broker was concerned, I'm still broken down, right? Now, I didn't help my situation, but either way, this fucking first Costco stop, they've been working on a new appointment since Friday, and all week pretty much, it's tomorrow. I delivers on 27. All the other fucking stops are off, babe. They've been all out of fucking order. Believe it or not, customers are all the ones that says we'll take off the other freight and grab our own. That usually is the hit or miss in some places because they don't want to risk damaging somebody else's product. Now I knew the Costco's would touch other Costco shit because they're Costco's, right? They're the same company, right? But the lumpers, they don't say no to that because they don't want to risk. They don't want to pay for anything. So it surprised me when 2 through 4 came off first. Then I had to go down to SoCal, get that load off me, and that was off me this morning. Come back up to fucking Tracy, get that load off me tomorrow. Now I have a load for over the weekend, and a great load, but I'm gonna ride back to them. I said fuck that. I mean that broker, man, the one I just was coming down here to grab his load for. I said, man, I'm going back up to say, I gotta go up for it. My security blanket stay up in there for a bit. And the only reason why I came down here is because my last load fell off, and this was all that was pretty much there. 6 fucking loads, 4 of them the same. And I could have gone easily east for great money, but it's like I don't want to fucking do that. So, because I had to ride out the low rates, because yeah, it's fucking awful. Barely get $3,200 to go fucking 2,000 miles from the west side of the lakes right now. And that granted, you make it up going east to the same area, you can probably get like 3,800, 4,500 going Idaho, Utah, fucking Washington, Oregon, going back to the same area. So it averages out, but it's awful. Yeah, that's how my last 2 weeks have been. Now, how much did that breakdown cost? $317. No tow. A D-rate message with no tow. Right? Diagnostic fee. 1 hour. Laptop fee. Yeah, that's all it cost me. It was a simple... Oh, actually, I lied. Volvo did some work. Didn't charge me for it. They found when they were looking over, they did me a solid. They found out there was a couple more other plugs inside that same area. This was inside the frame rail. I never would have seen these, right? It was in the frame rail where Volvo runs all their cables and shit and their wires and their hoses. Generally supposed to protect it from this, but I'm guessing a zip tie probably broke because I'm guessing, and it just over time just, bounces itself out. There was 2 more things unplugged that I didn't even notice. I don't know how long they've been unplugged, but they weren't that big of a deal. They plugged them back in, and they secured them, and they did a software update. Didn't charge me a damn thing. Software update is one that surprised me. Now, I knew something happened when I got in the truck, and a lot of my shit was reset. That was a little fucking weird, right? I don't know what I asked them what the software update did, what changes, what is fixed. They couldn't tell me. So, I don't know. I did say for Volvo to help me out, because I let them know it was a local, right? And so I think that's part of the reason why they helped me out. It's a local, right? I told them when the truck needs an overhead, I'm going to take it there, right? They'll probably end up doing my rebuild. I don't know who I'm going to do a rebuild in Kessler with. I'm going to need a rebuild probably by the time this truck's paid off. Because at that point it'll be 27. Like, start of 27. End of 26, somewhere in that range, right? I don't know who I'm going to do the rebuild with. So, but the overhead, since they did me a favor, I'll give them some money. I'll give them my business for that, guys. They work on a lot more construction equipment, it seems, but who knows? I don't really have much experience with this Volvo dealership here. I know the one in Cheyenne. I don't think they're even in the same franchise, same chain, but I know the one in Cheyenne is pretty good. Now, if it was a depth header, how much would that have cost me? Volvo Cheyenne had one for $770. I was willing to drive down to Cheyenne and get it if I needed to. That would save me probably a couple $100 markup on price. But I got lucky. I mean, who could? No, I got a break. I broke down. Now, granted, if you want to call a plug coming undone at the breakdown. But hey, that truck, it technically put me in D-rate. And I never would have found that myself. Nah, I probably would, but I wouldn't know where to start, right? Because one of the codes was JL something like JL like 19 something. I don't know. It's a fucking power connector pretty much. So it was telling me there was something going on there. No signal. So I didn't know where to start, right? Could have something stupid unplugged, which it was, but I didn't fucking know that. And $300 for, let's be honest, they spent like 5 hours on the truck diagnosing it, trying to figure out why the fuck when they plugged it back in I still had codes when everything was reading normal. That was the first shop. That's the first shop. It was my shop I normally go to where the truck went last time. To go there, right? And this is why you need a good shop, okay? My shop calls. Well, wait, I forgot I left my wallet in the truck. So I happened just around the same time they were thinking about calling me. Showed up. I was like, I left my wallet in the truck. They're like, okay. And I walk in. He's like, I was getting ready to call you. I was like, oh. He's like, yeah, man. Hey, we plugged that thing in. We plugged that thing in. There was a loose connector, right? Cleaned it up, resecured it. Still throwing codes, yada yada. Like I said, right? We don't have the software to really do advanced Volvo like diagnostic, and we don't. He's like, I don't want to fucking get it and have to upcharge you on things and the parts. So you just better. It'd be cheaper at this point just take it to Volvo. They didn't have to do that. Find yourself a good shop. Yeah, $300. I ain't gonna learn though real quickly how good that Volvo is, so the dealership. But well, also I lost a lot of hair for the fucking winter, you know. Trying out a new look. Also, the beard's trying. It's trying. I don't know how I feel about this fucking look. But hey, you guys stay safe out there. Catch you next time. Bye.